Okay, hi you guys. So I saw this Asian American tag on YouTube that basically K-pop YouTubers that I follow, they have been doing it recently, like Faye and Joan Kim, and I thought that's kind of a cool thing to do, to talk about like our Asian American heritage, or yeah, and I think I don't know how it started, but I think it's definitely very appropriate for the month of May, since the month of May is the Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. So I guess let's begin. The first question is, I'm Vietnamese American. I'm second gen. My parents were born in Vietnam and came here to US, and I was born here in US. So I'm not sure if this counts, but when I was in grade school, so my aunt's family used to live with my family, and so when I went to grade school, one day my uncle said that, oh, we don't have school today. I didn't even like question it. Well, he basically said, oh, it's a Lunar New Year. And so my cousin and I, we didn't go to school that day, and I remember being in his car and we were going out somewhere, and we would pass by the school and we would see the kids like playing at recess, and we were thinking like, why are the kids in school? Like, today's Lunar New Year. I mean, we're off. So I just thought that was very puzzling for me at a young age. I didn't think about it until much later. I realized, oh, it's not really a holiday, and just like the Asian kids who do celebrate it, obviously they might have taken off or didn't. But obviously it shows that my uncle thought it was really important, for the day, that Lunar New Year, that we were to be off. I guess I don't know if I would say the word like proud, but I definitely didn't have a problem with my heritage growing up. From where I live in Orange County, with a large Vietnamese community here, and actually a majority of my friends are Vietnamese, so we all have like similar experiences, being Asian American, because all our parents also came here as immigrants. And so and I mean, we had a unique experience, but I never felt that or I can't speak for everyone, but I feel that we didn't feel like we had to be super American. And we all understood the culture clash with like our parents, not being Asian American, but I think somehow we embraced it. I don't think, or most of my friends, we didn't seem to like rebel against that, or had a problem with it. We were more understanding, at least that's how I felt. Asian stereotypes. Well, okay, well, one thing is they always struggle to, I mean, I don't know if I struggle, but the Asian stereotype, like, oh, you're smart, or so, like, how they always assume that. So growing up in school, I think subconsciously, I was always studious, but I think subconsciously when people say that or I hear that, I do feel that I might have to be a representative of that stereotype or something. So but I don't think it's a bad thing. So that's one thing. I don't think I'm like super smart, but I would say my brother is the very smart one, and I'm the one that I'm the type of person I have to study hard if I wanted to do well. Another one, the stereotype of Asians, how like we're bad drivers, sort of. Everyone jokes, like my cousins and friends, well, I'm not like the best driver. but I guess people don't think of it as like, oh, because I'm Asian, because I think they're more because I'm Asian American, so they don't really think it's because I'm Asian I'm a bad driver. They just think I'm a bad driver, so maybe it's not connected to the stereotype in my case. Okay. I can barely speak Vietnamese, unfortunately. I can understand like conversational Vietnamese, but no, it's my Vietnamese is embarrassing. Yeah. I think that's kind of a harder, weird question. Well, I would say that my mom came here when she was pretty young, like in her preteens. And so she's pretty Americanized, and you see a balance of both being Asian and the being American. And so she was pretty well assimilated. I would say my dad, he came here later than my mom, so he's definitely more Asian. And so for the most part, I don't think there has been any issues with my relationship with my parents as being Asian American, especially with my mom, because she is pretty well assimilated, and I would say she's kind of a Asian American herself, or what, like a 1.5 generation. So there was no issue with that. She probably could understand like being American, like what their values are, or how or like their interests or stuff like that. So I don't think there was really an issue on that case in that case. And however, I would say that it's a very unique experience being Asian American, because there's like values that I definitely see that my parents try to incorporate in their kids, is that they want us to like still have very Asian values, like study hard, work hard, to be well mannered, stuff like that. And so that like kind of incorporated into me, and I don't think that's something that I rebelled with or anything, or I didn't even like question that. Like I never felt that, oh, they don't understand like what American kids do, and that why can't I be like them. Well, maybe there's one time. Okay, I think I can, now it's popping up. My parents were always very overprotective of me. So one time after school, in grade school, like one of my friends invited me to just like take this fun dance class somewhere, and I guess I didn't tell my dad, and he completely freaked out. Like he's like, "Where are you?" Blah 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 blah. And I can see when he picked me up, or when from the place, I think he picked me up at the dance studio with my friend, and then I can see that my friends, I don't know if I want to say they judged me, but basically, well, one of my friends was Vietnamese, but then the other friend is not. The other friend is, I think, white. And I can see that there was like I felt probably a little like, why, even though, yeah, maybe obviously I should have told my dad, but then secondly, I was thinking like, what's the big deal too? And I think that's like the American side of me, like, why is my dad being so overprotective, and I can't do anything, after school I usually have to study. And so in that case, I think there was a little bit struggle, I think more on my dad's side, where like he has a very specific idea of being, you have to be studious, and he didn't understand like really the American way. where the kids, you know, have extracurricular activity, and, you know, experience that and have fun with friends, you know. I was in a way kind of, you know, pretty sheltered and shy growing up, and I definitely say they got better, obviously, with my younger brother, and I think they understood more about like trying to embrace more of the positive or the good things as being American. I think I still feel the same about it. I don't think I've ever been ashamed of it. Um, and I think I definitely do identify with it. Me personally, although I do know some people, like there's some like bad stereotypes about Vietnamese people, specifically some Vietnamese, not just Asian American. And so I can see some people who don't want to completely identify with it. They'd rather say like I'm American. I'm not Vietnamese American or Asian American. But I don't think I personally have a problem with it. It does make me now uncomfortable when, like, let's say, I think more now than before, if like people kind of don't understand or my culture, like some people, if I'm around people that they seem like they might be ignorant or they don't really know about. Basically, it does make me uncomfortable in situations where there are people who, let's say, they're completely American and they don't understand me being Asian American. But I've never felt where I have to be super American and like say, oh, you know, like I never had to deny myself saying like, oh, I eat pho or something. Well, I think it's the best of both worlds, and I like that even though I'm not, I wasn't born in Vietnam or outside of US. I definitely feel that I'm Asian American because obviously how I look, and then I experience a little bit of the culture about being Asian, you know, among the Asian community, you know, with like one of the largest Vietnamese community outside of Vietnam here in Orange County, and you know, growing up with my parents and family, so like I got to experience and hear their story, and so there's a lot of incorporation of being Asian, and then I also then get the world of, you know, my American culture, where I see their values that that are good, that maybe, let's say, Asian values could be too traditional or conservative about certain things, that and they're and then eating American food, stuff like that, and understanding American things. So like I get two worlds there, which is great. And I think that's it. Hope you guys like my answer. See you guys next time.